Recently, Brighton was a low-budget Cottonwoods escape from the crowds for Utah locals, but with the introduction of the Icon Pass, the resort has attracted much more destination interest in recent years. Brighton is much smaller than the leading Rockies resorts, but it benefits from the snow-heavy microclimate unique to the Cottonwood Canyons and offers a competitive terrain park. So is Brighton still worth it for those in the area? And does it make sense as a destination ski trip for those looking to fly somewhere? In this video, we'll go through Brighton's overall mountain experience, and then we'll go through how the resort stacks up in our overall rankings. Before we jump in, you can check out written reviews of Brighton and over 50 other destination ski resorts on our website, peakrankings.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to help us grow, and be sure to hit the bell so you don't miss any of our video content. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, where you can follow along as we travel around the peaks this winter. We'll be stopping by the Canadian Rockies, Montana, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico in the coming weeks, and you won't want to miss it. Brighton's biggest strong suit is its snow. The resort sits in Utah's Big Cottonwood Canyon, one of the snowiest areas in all of North America. As a result, the resort enjoys outstanding accumulation each winter, sometimes receiving more than 500 inches in a season. Additionally, the snow is dry and light, meaning that right after a storm, Brighton offers some of the easiest powder skiing you'll find anywhere. The snow isn't quite as consistent as that at Alta and Snowbird, but it's hard to beat the quality anywhere else. Brighton's exceptional natural snow allows the resort to stay 100% open for a considerable portion of the season. Every lift service resort area is typically open by Christmas, making Brighton a reliable early season vacation choice. Conditions on this March trip were somewhat below average, yet everything at the resort was still open and more than skiable. Brighton is a modestly sized resort, and a small one by destination standards, measuring just under 890 skiable acres in bounds. The mountain can be broken into 4 distinct terrain areas. From west to east, they include Great Western, Snake Creek, Crest, and Millicent, which is known as Millie by locals. Each of these areas is served by a high-speed quad, and rides up these lifts are quick and enjoyable. 3 of these zones span the resort's entire lift service vertical, with the exception being Snake Creek, which covers about 2/3 of it. For those preferring a local feel over a built-up, commercialized vibe, Brighton is a great choice. The resort is quite remote, with fantastic views of surrounding nature that punch way above what one might expect from such a small mountain. From the top of some lifts, there's also a line of sight to the Salt Lake Valley below. With the exception of unassuming facilities at the bases and some junctions, there's very little buildup at Brighton. The top of Great Western arguably offers the best views at the ski area, with striking vistas of peaks both in front of and behind the resort. Given its proximity to so many tall peaks and high elevation, one might be surprised by Brighton's short vertical drop. The resort spans just 1,750 feet from top to bottom, which is shorter than essentially every other Rockies destination. That being said, the resort boasts a solid variety of terrain across its footprint. Highlights include well-maintained groomers, a few brief bowl sections, and surprisingly varied glade terrain. Brighton is without question the best resort in the Cottonwoods for beginners. Unlike its neighbors, Brighton offers top-to-bottom green trails, making it feel much more accessible to beginners than a typical resort. Green terrain mostly consists of typical below treeline slopes, but a few glades that border these runs are mellow and widely spaced enough for beginners as well. As a result, Brighton offers a unique opportunity for beginner tree terrain that can't be found at nearly any other competitor. There is one catch though. Getting to a sizable chunk of Brighton's green terrain requires starting down a blue run first. However, the blues involved in these routes are some of the easiest on the mountain, allowing for beginners to get down them without too much trouble. That being said, true beginners may want to stick to the Explorer Bunny Hill until they're more comfortable on the slopes. Brighton also offers a very strong intermediate experience. The blue runs here are on the easier side for the Rockies and do vary somewhat in difficulty, with some easy enough to be considered greens at competing resorts, and others offering typical intermediate pitches. Many runs are below treeline cruisers, but like with its greens, Brighton's most interesting intermediate areas are its glades. Intermediate tree runs border the defined trails and can be found off every lift. A few intermediate trails remain ungroomed throughout the season, and some actually have some interesting obstacles like rocks. A few short intermediate bowls can be found off the Millie Lift. Brighton was the first Utah resort to allow snowboarders, and this is evident from its competitive terrain park setup. The resort's 5 terrain parks include features ranging from small to extra large. In addition to the typical boxes, rails, and jumps, the Majestic Terrain Park offers a number of unique specialty features. For freestyle terrain in the Cottonwoods, Brighton is by far the best option. Brighton boasts a few awesome advanced and expert areas, including tree-defined trails, glades, and bowls. Must-hit areas for experienced visitors include the aspen trees off Great Western and some gnarly cliffs off Millie. These runs vary in difficulty depending on the snowpack, with later season days becoming less challenging as tougher obstacles get filled in by new accumulation. A few truly extreme lines with mandatory straightlining are accessible by hiking. However, Brighton really isn't what you'd call an expert's mountain. Blacks and double blacks only make up a small fraction of the resort compared to the bigger destinations, and experienced guests who stay in bounds might find themselves wanting more. None of the resort's steeps are particularly lengthy, which plays a major role in this shortcoming. That being said, Brighton offers very easy access to out-of-bounds backcountry terrain. Many areas are directly accessible from the lifts and filter back into the resort. These zones often boast untracked snow, and unmarked obstacles such as cliffs and rocks exist throughout them. These out-of-bounds areas are unpatrolled with no avalanche control, making them extremely high risk under certain conditions. Be sure to carry avalanche gear and go with a local if you don't know the area. Despite the resort's modest size, Brighton is not well set up for getting between mountain zones. Getting from one side of the resort to the other can take as many as 3 lifts, none of which are particularly direct. The base terminals for Brighton's lifts are in separate pods that aren't connected by trails, meaning that if you end up at the bottom of the lift, top to bottom runs are warranted even to go absolute distances of only a few hundred feet. And the runs are only long enough such that you can make it over to the next lift, but not any further. If there's enough snow on the ground, you might actually be better off skiing across the parking lot to get between resort areas. Given its location in the middle of the resort, guests need to go through the crest area to get between Millie and points west. This, along with the fact that Crest is home to the main base facilities, turns the Crest lift into a major choke point during peak times. The neighboring Majestic lift, which primarily serves the terrain park of the same name, also technically extends high enough to provide access to the other resort areas. However, the lift isn't fast and well advertised enough to effectively provide relief. Unless it's an off-peak weekday, it's best to avoid the Crest lift unless absolutely necessary. Getting around the mountain is made worse by annoying flat sections in less than ideal areas. It's essentially impossible to avoid catwalking on a trip to Brighton. A considerable portion of runs either bear flat spots themselves or funnel into level runouts. Unfortunately, trails required to get between lifts are among the flattest at the resort, requiring prolonged catwalking in sections. Even some of the terrain park features are too flat to practically use. If there's fresh snow on the ground, be prepared for a workout. Signage could use some improvements as well. Markings in key areas offer trail and lift directions, but in certain situations, the signs are a little too easy to miss. In addition, several important junctions don't have trail maps. This can make it difficult to orient yourself with the mountain when you first get there. Unlike many other Utah mountains, and all other Cottonwoods resorts, Brighton offers night skiing. The resort stays open through 9 p.m. 6 days a week, offering 200 acres of lighted terrain off its Crest, Majestic, and Explorer lifts. And new for the 2021-22 season is a night skiing expansion into the Snake Creek area. The resort designates certain trails as lighted night skiing trails, but if you bring a headlamp, anywhere in bounds is fair game. Additionally, Brighton offers direct lift access to and from the neighboring Solitude Ski Resort. Visitors can ski both mountains on the same day with a Soul Bright ticket or the Icon Pass. The two areas combined are similar in size to some smaller destination mountains, and those looking to stay for multiple days may want to consider splitting their days between the two mountains. So Brighton offers one of the best combinations of beginner and intermediate terrain and high quality snow in all of North America. and it offers a tree-centric, family-oriented environment with a few seriously technical lines thrown in. But despite its small size, the resort is now nearly as crowded as the destinations, with the problem made worse by lift logistics that are poorly structured to handle the increased demand. Additionally, the abundance of flat, catwalky areas can wear down on you quickly. However, Brighton offers one considerable advantage over competitors in its pricing structure. While regular lift ticket prices are already pretty cheap by Utah standards, tickets for kids under 10 are entirely free. For a week-long family trip, this means potential ticket cost savings of hundreds of dollars. At the same value, you can't get Brighton's world-class snow, distinctive trees, and local, beautiful environment anywhere else. Now let's go through how Brighton stacks up in our overall rankings, which are determined by the following 10-category mountain score. Brighton sees some of the best accumulation in North America, both quality and quantity-wise, and gets a 9 for snow. Save its most tenuous hikes, Brighton is fully open throughout much of the season, typically closing for avalanche mitigation more than anything else, and gets a 9 for resiliency. Brighton claims a 1,050-acre footprint, but our calculations show that the mountain is closer to 890 acres, and the resort gets a 5 for size. Brighton has a lot of variety, especially for beginners and intermediates, but it falls a bit short on long, difficult terrain and gets a 7 for terrain diversity. Brighton is by no means an easy mountain, but the other Cottonwoods mountains are a lot harder, and it gets a 6 for challenge. All of Brighton's lift service terrain can be accessed through high-speed quads, while the resort's one real helper lift is a fixed grip quad. 4% of Brighton's terrain is hiked to, and the resort gets a 9 for lifts. Brighton still doesn't attract as many guests as some of its competitors, but its lift network is somewhat of a mess, and the resort gets a 5 for crowd flow. On-site lodges are sufficient but small, and the resort gets a 4 for facilities. Brighton is small enough to figure out reasonably quickly, but has some really annoying unavoidable flats, and gets a 5 for navigation. And finally, mountain aesthetic. Despite being rather short for a destination, Brighton offers the spectacular views and local feel the Cottonwoods are known for, and gets an 8 in this category. These categories add up to an overall score of 67, placing Brighton 7th in Utah and tying it for 30th overall. You should check out Brighton if you're into its excellent snow quality, family-friendly terrain and ticket deals, and high-speed lifts, but you should skip it if you're not looking to deal with its annoying navigational logistics or frustrating choke points during peak times. For more information on Brighton and over 50 other North American ski resort destinations, check out peakrankings.com.